By the way, that burned my ass in this documentary. He went and sued the guy who took these pictures and said, "Please do not release pictures of me nude at 9 years old." And when you say nude pictures, you were sexualized. They put the makeup on you, the whole thing. They made you look like an adult. And
And it
they
was
said,
he waited till I was famous to do it too, which was just gross. Was
but
his name.
nowadays, the norm is different. If you went to court now, they would say, "This is kiddie porn. There's no way this guy's allowed to release it." But back then, they were like, "Fuck you, Brooke
Yeah,
Shields."
I lost. And the prosecuting attorney, who was just such a prick, was like making lewd gestures to me, and nobody was seeing it, and it was so surreal. And
What do you mean, lewd gestures
like
in
he would
court?
lick his lips and look at me and say things like, "You were thinking of fornication, weren't you?" And I was like, I thought it was fornification, but no." I was like this. I was so naive, but no, at 9 years old, we were doing a dress up. We were a little kid in one picture, and then we were an adult in the other. So,
Naked.
and I got the bathtub assignment, but I walked around nude as a 9-year-old. I didn't have budding sexuality. I wasn't, but when you're 15 and you're in high school and then to bring those out, it was embarrassing.
And that's the crazy thing with your mom that I can't figure out.
She had this like crazy justification for things. Like she believed that as long as she was in my personal life, keeping me safe and virginal and pure and all that, that she was sparing me. She believed her own. The scene where she's teaching me how to swim.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to swim. She died not knowing how to swim, and
Jesus.
I saw that, and I was like, "Holy hell!" I believed she could walk on water, let alone, swim. And I'm looking at that thinking, the woman never learned how to swim, but boy, she taught me how to swim. And it was just
Right.
that's the way she lived her life.
When you finally sort of divorced your mother and asserted your independence, it feels good, I guess, but it also feels bad.
You have a lot
Yeah,
of
she guilty. Yeah, you have guilt.
guilt, and fear and sadness because she could play the martyr and say, "You see, everybody leaves me," and
Right.
she was sort of raging and couldn't believe I left her in such a violent way, and I had tried doing it systematic desensitization, but it wasn't going to work with her. Nothing was ever not extreme with her. And then she said to Lisa, my best friend from high school, she's like, "Brooke, you're not going to believe it." She said, "Your mom looked at me and said, but that took balls."
Oh,
And
so she was proud maybe in a
she
way.
was, she saw the fighter in me. And although she was angry, I think she was like, all right, she's not a wimp, the kid. And I think she had to give me props because it was really a ballsy thing. I gutted her office. I took everything overnight. Um, and it was a very difficult thing for her to witness happening.